Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Danae, and I'm here with a message for you. Happy Monday. Today is June 17th. Pardon me. Took a little sip of lemonade before I started, but geez. June 17th, 2024. Hope you had a great weekend and the week is off to a powerful start for you. It's a hot one where I am, and I think pretty much a bit of a scorcher across the nation, a little earlier than expected. So things are heating up in spirit and in truth, I would say. One thing I want to say is that it's really funny that on Friday is when I promoted the summer soul sale, where you can ask a question for 1111 and receive an answer via a private video link. I've done some thinking about that offering, and I definitely all I'll say is I'm going to be expanding some things throughout the rest of the summer. But when I promoted that, and also description, information and description below if you want to know more about that. But when I shared that on Friday, which was June the 14th, I got the nudge to do so kind of like unexpectedly. I was just shuffling and sort of like in my meditation, my like pre-meditation before I start the reading. And Spirit just kind of nudged me to talk about it that day. And as I promoted it as a way to first and foremost celebrate the year anniversary of this channel, more or less the first video I posted, because if you see the starting date of the channel is a bit before that, because I wasn't posting yet, but I just opened the space. But at the time I said I needed to check the date because I really wasn't sure, and then Saturday came and I just did my video again, and I did talk about the sale, but I still hadn't checked to see what the anniversary date actually was. And lo and behold, it was on the 15th, which was this past Saturday. So happy anniversary to this channel, to me, to you, especially if you've been here since my very first post. That's freaking awesome. So thank you for sure to anyone that is that loyal of a subscriber, and certainly to all new subscribers as well. I'm so grateful for your presence, so thankful for the way the channel is growing energetically and actually in numbers. And it feels good to be here. It feels good. I had another channel and things weren't, that's neither here nor there. I was guided to create a new space, and at first I was resistant to it, which is why I opened the channel, but I didn't start posting here yet. And I was still attached to my other social media platforms, which was Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. But I wasn't really feeling the spirit there either. So I was guided to release all of those other spaces and to start completely fresh and new in this one. And I'm very grateful. It's not even just so much about accelerated growth per se, because I had a lot of subscribers and friends and followers on other platforms, but it's the energy that I feel. It's very grounding and comforting, and has been a wonderful incubator, so to speak, for how my gifts and spiritual affluence, I guess, to some degree is expanding and it's growing. So again, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. I encourage all those that may just pop in every now and again to view, to definitely subscribe. I don't usually do the whole spiel about subscribing, liking, sharing, because I just forget to do so. I'm here for the message and I'm out, and that's just that. But of course, you know what to do if you feel guided to. But I definitely want to promote I'm going to do my best at least to remember to promote the summer soul sale, because I honestly, it's my offering to you to open up a spiritual exchange that has been closed down pretty much just about since I started this channel. You know, I haven't really been open for personal readings in this space. And so that's my small love offering, so to speak, for your grace and your presence, and also a trial to just see how these exchanges go. You know, just kind of easing my toe into the water back into, you know, a space that is quite vulnerable. If you know, as a spiritualist or intuitive or whatever you may do in your life, especially spiritually, it's no small feat to open yourself up to exchanges, you know, especially not now. Things are so sensitive right now. So again, if you're interested in asking a question and getting a thorough answer as I feel guided in spirit, it's only $11.11 per question, and you won't be disappointed. You will not be dissatisfied, I can tell you that. And that's a nominal fee for what it could cost for what I'll probably give you ultimately, which is probably going to be something like a mini read, you know, because as I've said, it's kind of hard for me to cap my energy off when I feel open and guided to share. So trust me, you'll get more than what you bargained for, that's for sure. So email me by way of the address in the description box below, and wait for me to respond with an acknowledgement and acceptance of your request, and then we'll go from there. All right, so let's see what we got today. One more cut. Hey, worth all the talking. Star card in the house. That's what's up. That's what's up. Yes, starting off with the star card, all about really being in submission to your supreme calling, your supreme identity, what you feel guided to express and create and experience in this lifetime. And that submission being with expectation for a return reward by way of your dreams and wishes fulfilled. It's like when you're in submission to your supreme self, it's like built in, like satisfaction guaranteed is built in. You won't be disappointed. You'll always be fulfilled. There certainly, it may come with its challenges to aspire to your truest identity, because a lot of times we got to break some stuff off of us, release some things, some old mentalities, maybe people, places, and things, to really be transformed, or I guess maybe just molded. What is it? Is it a transformation? It is and it isn't, because it's like it's your true identity, so it's not so much about a metamorphosis, so to speak. I don't know. I have to meditate on that. I mean, it is, but it isn't, you know, but really it's more so of a returning to your natural state, I would say, more so than it is becoming something altogether different. The thing is that because of the energies that we pick up along the way before we actually ultimately come to this place, or at least even to the submission of this place or the aspiration of this identity, there are a lot of things that we've picked up, you know, we've acquired, we've put on for size, or we've in some ways, I guess, even stripped down too, you know, to some degree, that almost are like a disguise, or are really like the identity altering things from what our origins are, is what I think is what makes sense to me right now. So as we're aspiring to this fulfilled identity, it's not so much that we're having to remake our whole selves to become this new person or new flesh, but it's just that we are being reintroduced, maybe even rebirthed to some degree, into what we always were, or at least what was the ideal design for our identity before it was, what was that word I just heard? Before it was corrupted, maybe. Corrupted seems kind of strong, but there's something else that I wanted to say. Not something like tainted, but not quite. I guess we could go with corrupted. But I mean that in the most, I mean that in the most kind of like passive sense, just by way of being a human in this experience, a spiritual being in a human experience, and also in those maybe more aggressive ways that have been inflections or projections of which, may or may not come with the territory, but we've incurred them anyway. You know the things. All right, so we got the Star card here, then we got the Knight of Swords. Oh man, so somebody's trying to keep you from being great. What else is new? Yeah, want to put your ambitions to rest. Literally sucking my teeth. Exactly. Like, look at this. Want to oh wow. Okay, this is what we on. One that wants to, wow. Yeah, wants to put an end to all that I just said, pretty much. To have you regress back into some state of, let's say, insecurity, maybe instability, uncertainty, definitely where I get the insecurity from. To regress into a state of insecurity, imbalance, being unsure of yourself, unsure of your surroundings, like, But those ambitions are being laid to rest, as in the Four of Swords, because you've moved on from a state of impressionism in that regard. You're at the Queen of the Queen of Cups at this point, with not only being internally tapped in, but also being tapped in beyond what is tangible, or beyond like the senses, with the Hermit card here. There is no veil for some anymore, which means that there is really no illusion or delusion within self about who you are, what you're here to do. Like you've reached the star status, at least enough. I would say in this case, especially with the Hermit, the Queen of Cups here, and the Six of Wands, I feel like, it's just wishful thinking for someone to feel like you could be regressed at this point to being insecure and feeling unsure of yourself, unaware, not knowing what to do, what to think, like in some type of haze of confusion. Not when you have submitted to. Here's the thing, it's like the submission part to this supreme identity. Sometimes, most times, the submission is the assertion, of it at the same time, because you may, it's like the intention precedes the, I guess the intention is the initiation, so to speak. So, like, say the moment you decide, whether it be verbally or just in spirit, like you consent to living your life in submission to following your heart's desires, your dreams, wanting to be your best, wanting to do the most with the energy and time you have in this breath of life, is the moment that identity starts to take shape, even when, and especially as you're not even aware of, here it is, the metamorphosis. So that's why I'm saying, like, this inflection between like what change truly is, because a lot of times not only can you not really see it or sense it or tell, like you're not watching yourself in that cocoon form, in that cocoon state become different, but yet the moment you decide to be different, you kind of already are. And the difference being, again, the only regression you would submit to in the star energy is what you were ultimately designed to be in the first place, before all interference, before projections and distractions and so on and so forth. So it's like because you've already had an intention, deciding to go within and being focused in that regard, your path was already kind of like laid out for you, to the point where all you had to do is just continue to follow that insight, which makes it really hard for energies that would want to regress you back to being bound and blocked, to the state of you that is not so organic, is not so natural. This is conditioned, it's been conditioned, whether it be by life experiences, surroundings, upbringing, just, again, human experience, whatever it may be, because you've already been made an agreement with this identity to return to it and to be in that energy. It already puts you on a different trajectory, literally a different pathway. Look at the difference here between, I was gonna put it down, but sometimes it's hard to see. It's like somebody's over here on a pathway, and the ambition with aggression here is to stop someone at this point. But if this is you and this is you, this is the identity of you that is no longer active. This is who you are. And at that point, it's really hard for the Knight of Swords, in whatever frequency, whatever they on, it's hard for you to really stop momentum at this rate, because mainly because you're just on two different wavelengths. Somebody's trying to forge a point of attack against you as a you that doesn't even really exist anymore, because you've already more or less ascended or elevated your mindset, raised your emotional, advanced your emotional intelligence, raised your intuitive abilities to be thinking, feeling, and acting on a level that is not vulnerable to this frequency. And then here's the Death card. Here is the transformation, but what is put into an end, is energies that would want to activate in any manipulative form. Mainly they put themselves out of commission, because again, the ambition by, not the ambition, but how can I say it, like the coordinates of their attack are faulty, so to speak. Something like that. So we're gonna leave the star card out here, but let's see what else we got on this, because the star is the only thing that matters right now. All that other stuff is just kind of par for the course, but it's actually the stuff that more or less may have inspired you to take this higher road, so to speak, in the first place. So certainly the inspiration can't then become the interception, if that makes sense. It's just, I mean, for the interception energy itself, it would make sense that because there was empowerment in that force before, it would make sense that it would be worth a try, or be worth the ambition at least. But for you, or for whomever may be the intended target, all it will really ultimately do at this point is just just continue to inspire to go higher and higher, be better and better, and greater, to go deeper and deeper, and to expand wider and wider, and become smarter and smarter, and stronger, and so on and so forth. So that, again, that's why it's like with each impending attack, or even intention of opposition, interference, or resistance, all that it does, not only does it weaken the offense, it's like dual reactive, because not only the reason why it weakens it, because it's not lawful, it's not justified, there's that, but it also weakens it because at the same time that it is imposed is at the same time that you become stronger, you become better. So therefore, it's like no matter how many times somebody tries to attack you, in the energy and frequency of the star now, this is not just if you still thinking, low level about yourself and having, struggles in your emotional stability, and seeing yourself at least being submissive to the ideal of there being a supreme expression of you, a higher self, so to speak. But I like to use the word supreme, because I don't even think it's a matter of high and low as much as it is just greater, So anyway, if you haven't become, if you haven't submitted yourself to that identity and that reality, then that is what makes you more susceptible to low-level attacks on your self-esteem, on your ambition, on your drive, on your stability, and all those other things that are quite vulnerable. Let's not act like we are not delicate creatures, because we absolutely are. But the point of aspiring to ascension and spiritual supremacy, as I like to say, is to ultimately raise your security measures for attacks that are unfortunately at this time inevitable, but the point of exclamation here is that, as I said, no matter how many times you are intended to be a target, in this frequency, those energies only seem to elevate you and make you better than what you were before. And so that means that every time a person goes in for attack, not only does the opposite occur, but then when they want to continue to attack, repeat attacks or relentless attacks, the reason why those coordinates are off is because, as I've said, they're coming back attacking you where they last left you. But since that last attack, you've actually grown more, so it's like, okay, back to the drawing board, let me figure out a way to attack her at this level. But while they off trying to draw up new plans, you've already began to expand and to grow yet again. So it's like, I don't even know why it matters for me to say that as much as I am. Maybe as a comfort of security, of the built-in protection that you have just by way of your own ambition to be amazing and to stay in your lane and do what it is that you feel designed to do. And ultimately that probably is important, because a lot of times how we do lower our shields is by feeling vulnerable, or feeling almost feeling almost like paranoid about what is coming against us, because honestly we have the muscle memory and the residue from our past experiences that almost teaches us to be paranoid, not to almost be afraid to shine in this energy, for fear that any minute now there's going to be some dark energy to come extinguish your light, just because you shining on your own accord. But I feel like that's the turnaround, with the assurance of even those two dualities that we get to now internalize and express with no inhibition, because that's what's ultimately going to keep us fueled to continue on that trajectory of success, as it was inflected in the Six of Wands. It doesn't mean that the aggressors and the opposition isn't still somewhere on the path, or on the prowl, but we're like ships passing in the night at this point, whether it's realized on either side or not. And it doesn't really matter for it to be realized on the oppositional side, as long as you know that that's what is true, so that you don't even allow yourself to project any paranoia that might ultimately throw you off of your path, dull your shine, and then also make you more susceptible to intentional attack. It's like you're good. You're on a whole nother level now. It's almost like you don't even really need to put much energy into considering what the resistance is doing or planning, or none of that, because as long as you are in your safe space, which is your supreme identity, the security is already top flight. We got the King of Pentacles. And honestly, this kind of came out a bit in a struggle. But let's see what's on the bottom. Oh, yeah, I think it's supposed to be. But not with the Three of Swords. It came out a bit sideways on the floor, where it could justifiably be in reverse. So there's some heartbreak here by someone that was or is a wealthy man, but I would say that the foundation of their fulfillment is in shambles, with the Ten of Cups in reverse and the Three of Swords. And look where they looking, but at the Star. So this is somebody that they heartbroken about something, but they still the King of Pentacles. So I wonder. So it's somebody that could still have wealth, but they're not happy. Either they're not happy with how they acquired it, or they've acquired wealth, but as we all know, it would be the antithesis of what I'm talking about here with what it looks like to pursue destiny organically versus what it looks like to pursue the wealth of the world, more or less, like riches, material, abundance, affluence that is almost more or less, yeah, especially with the Ten of Cups in reverse, that's almost exclusively materially measured. Somebody even could be, the King of Pentacles is like a dedicated king, committed. So somebody could find themselves in a commitment that they're miserable in. That's unfortunate. Wow. Let me put this over here. So we got some fighting, some competition. Oh boy. Over in the moonlight. What y'all fighting over them, who does what in the next, in this full moon ritual? Maybe they can't agree on what the ritual should be. Here is a thought. Maybe you focus on releasing all of the negative energy that you have created for yourselves. That's probably the best. And this is free game right here. You know, I'm a diplomatic person. I'm a reasonable person. Instead of trying to figure out how to initiate some new mystical order that is already doomed before it even gets off the ground, because there is no synergy here with the Ten of Cups. It may be a group of folks. The King of Pentacles is what? Oh man, hold up. King of Pentacles, you in danger. You are on the chopping block with that Three of Swords. That's what it is. And there's some value here with the King of Pentacles as to why, because it's like this energy is kind of outside of the community. So maybe somebody's already been outcasted, but they still have like a value on their head, like $1 on their head, if you feel me. But we're talking mystically speaking, especially now that the moon is showing up here. And this is what I'm saying here. So it's like when you're in the frequency of integrity, you don't even have to give this energy life. You don't have to hit no reversals. You don't have to be aggressive in your defense or responses. You just live. You do what is going to continue to elevate you in the frequency that you can control, you know, in the space that you can control. However, when you're living outside of integrity is when, as you see here, you become quite vulnerable to lower energies that in this case are out of control. You certainly can't control them, even in integrity. But when you're in the midst of it, or not in a position where you're where your integrity is intact enough to secure your own space, yeah, you could have something to consider carefully. So that could look like being mindful of where you're going, who you're spending your time with, what you're spending your energy on, what you're investing in, because there's a price on somebody's life. And the only thing that I can say at this point is, in terms of this Five of Wands and the Moon, is that, and the Ten of Cups in reverse, is that there's so much confusion and delusion here, lunacy, quite honestly, that the energies may actually cancel themselves out before they do any real damage, or at least before they do what they intend to do. That's the only saving grace. But one thing's for sure is that there's an intention to be destructive in some way, shape, or form. It seems like they like I said, they can't agree on like a point of action or initiation or something like that. An initiation. Like the initiation of some ritual or something. Oh, exactly. Eight of Wands, it's just the sheer intention alone is already magnetizing a backfire, which is spirit ordained. So there's that. But why someone who is in this position in the upright is still even connected to this is what's problematic at this point. Because what they're not realizing is how endangered they are. It may even be someone that still feels like they're a part of the crew. You know, they're in on it too, and really like, you know, yeah, come to the ritual on da 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 da, and wear this and bring that, and that, you know, somebody's getting all of the rundown. Little do they know. It's like I just got a vision of one of those old cartoons. What was that? Like when I just saw it too. It was like an old cartoon when somebody is like gathering. I think it might have been like Warner Brothers, maybe Bugs Bunny or something. I don't know, but maybe so, with Elmer Fudd, when he's like gathering himself to get in this pot to take like a hot bath or whatever. I gotta look that up, because why am I seeing that? And lo and behold, it's him like really cooking himself as his own stew, or as, you know, Elmer Fudd's stew. But he doesn't realize, like, he thinks he's being pampered or being, you know, he's in cahoots with whatever the mutual ambition is, but he's actually the target. That's the energy that I'm getting here. That somebody might think they're a part of the ritual, but they're actually the sacrifice. That's wild. And look, he's looking at the star thinking, yeah, this King of Pentacles, and what does he have but a pentacle in his hand? So maybe everybody's having this, he's thinking that it's all for the intention to perhaps sacrifice the star, i.e. could be you, back to that first spread where somebody is gearing up for some way to come and, you know, some plan of attack, when here it is. It could somebody even being set up by their crew to look like the aggressor in some way, like, yeah, bring all this, but and then when they get there, it's a whole like like it's a whole raid or rundown or something like that. That's crazy too. But what the thing about it is that they're still, the plot may be ideal for what it's worth, at least the intention behind it, to set somebody else up for a fall, but it's not even being well executed because, again, there's no synergy and understanding within these ranks. It's like everybody's, it's like the ego like ego trips. Everybody wants to be the one to be in charge, is what it, and maybe they're all fighting over, because the King of Pentacles is the kingpin. So maybe everybody, it could even be secretly, yeah, because it's the moon card here. So everybody's putting on this facade of being together for this ultimate goal to get the kingpin out the way. This could be like a coup or something, like somebody's organization is about to flip them, whether this is an underground organization, could be illegal operation, or it could actually be, it could be entertainment with the star card here. I don't know, but either way, there's some group that really isn't on one accord. There's a great bit of discord, as a matter of fact, but there's a facade, like it kind of flipped sideways a bit. There's a facade of togetherness, of family, of unity, of we all on the same page, we're all out for the same thing. But behind the scenes, it's very cutthroat. Everybody's looking to undercut the next one, to get on top. But it could certainly be with the ambition to be the new head of the organization, because whatever it is, there's a plan for somebody to be eliminated or moved out of the way. So everybody else is idealizing themselves in that spot, and that's exactly why they're not in that spot in the first place for this harebrained scheme, but also the reason why there will be no spot to take, because the greed and the ambition of these characters is ultimately going to, the corruption behind the scenes is what ultimately is going to destroy the operation itself. We got the Page of Swords and the Ace of Cups here. Yeah, everybody's got their eye on the prize, but they're actually looking in the wrong direction. So this is, to me, it's like everybody has an ulterior motive in this crew to have the biggest cup of all, to be filled up, to be, fulfilled the most. It's also given defensive and paranoid with the Page of Swords, but also unfocused. Because if this is the prize, then what are you looking at? Exactly. The Five of Pentacles. What the heck is this crap? This is dumb. Nobody's getting anything. In a minute, everybody thinks they are. They got a plan to, but look, Judgment. Judgment's been called. And anything that anyone is planning to obtain from this arrangement, this plot, this ritual, this scam, that's whatever it is already null and void with the Five of Pentacles. Everybody's going to be out of a job, out of a hustle, maybe out on the street, maybe unwell, or just sick because of the dismantling of this whole situation. And they, again, unfocused, like don't even see it coming. They're expecting a different judgment here, or at least planning for it, a different outcome. I'm feeling even insisting upon it. I don't know why I'm hearing that, or being quite what's the word? It's like not taking no for an answer is the energy I feel. Like this has to work. This got to go through, whatever it is. But the Five of Pentacles says otherwise. So yeah, this is energy about people gearing up already, because this Capricorn full moon is going to be very powerful. Not like I should be apprehensive to share this, but given all that I said, I'm really not, because what you're going to do, is you're going to create your own demise. You're literally going to initiate your own destruction, as if you haven't already, but it's going to seal the deal is what's going to happen here. Because not only is this a Capricorn moon in the first degree, the phenomenon, at least to me, because I've never witnessed this in my time of being more engaged with the celestial, with the cosmic current events, is that next month we're also having another full moon in Capricorn. I've never known of that to happen. I know it must have, because it's just mathematics, of how the planets move by degree, but I would definitely venture to say that it's not common and it doesn't happen often. So what you're initiating in this full moon, if it's not in the like I said, if it's not in the matter of releasing impurities, releasing and I would say intrusions on other people's energy, where you need to have been backed up out, like, and this is exactly that. As a matter of fact, people fighting over power. That's what this is. Fighting over the top seat, fighting over the power to be, the leader, but doing it in very corrupt ways. And this full moon is not the energy that you want to harness to do that. It's pretty much supercharged to backfire on you if you're not pursuing a position of power and influence that you haven't been proven to like, more or less, if you don't have the credentials to sit in that seat. That's why it's the Five of Pentacles, because you're going to be fired. You're going to be kicked out immediately. You're not even going to get the job, but you're going to be kicked out, and you're going to dismantle the whole. This is ridiculous. And that also goes for larger power structures, like companies and corporations may take a hit, as well, if their practices are not in integrity. We may see some big hits in some large corporations or big name, big box type companies that have been operating out of integrity for longer than we know, because it's all been under the radar, behind the curtain or behind the veil. But the universe knows. So that effect is not just exclusive to the micro or the macro. It's that, this, and everything in between. So certainly on a personal or general level, if anybody is manipulating energies for the purposes of attaining power, whether it be someone else's power or power that doesn't belong to them, a position that doesn't belong to them, property, or with the King of Pentacles, assets that don't rightfully belong to you, any material or energetic possessions better have your name on it. It's like if you could get caught red-handed, maybe that's what that investigator energy is with the hermit. That if you get caught red-handed, but it's spirit investigating, you get caught red-handed with your hands in a cookie jar that doesn't belong to you, you will be sorry. I'm talking about sorry. 1 minute it'll be all good and you'll be just having a quiet moment a quiet night at home, and then all of a sudden all hell break loose. And you're literally bringing stress to your establishments, to your home, to your business, to whatever collaboration this is. It's like it's the end and the beginning all at once if there is no settlement with what is unjust, no repentance for what is unrighteous. And I'm not talking about in a religious way. I'm literally talking about in alignment with integrity, with what is fair, what is honest. And that is personal, and it's a collective countenance, because if you're not doing, like, say somebody that that's infringing on other people's liberties or rights or assets or whatever to maintain a position of authority, you're bringing a certain karmic response to light for yourself. And then if you're a part of something that is that you knowingly contribute to that intention, no matter what your contribution is, great or small, you also become wrapped up in that retribution. So it's like, it's given like so it even could be, get into it. It even could be some type of, let's say at the worst of it, some type of illegal or corrupt operation, right? That has identified their leader as the problem, and so they want to get them out. Maybe justified reasons for, the ambition to do so, but still with dirt, maybe even blood on their hands on account of what has been contributed to or created, and also with very little intentions on doing anything different. Like it could be even people acting out of some false nobility, like, yeah, we got to get him out because he's she's the problem, he's the problem. But they don't have it. If they were in the position, they wouldn't do any better. And if they were to get into the position, they are not going to do any better. Maybe different, but not any better. Because it's still some ignorant energy over here with the moon card. So it's like everybody is going to answer to the same judgment when it comes down to it, respective to their contribution and, their commitment. Ace of Wands, because this is a power grab. It's a power struggle, ego trip. That's all this is. The people are out for the aces, but they're not in a position to really embody this energy, to conduct this energy. It's available just as much as unconditional love, divine love is available. But if you're not emotionally available to receive it, to be a conduit of it first, and then to responsibly conduct it, it's going to pass right through you like Taco Bell. If you're lucky, because you may not be able to ingest it at all, which is more likely the case. Or that gives more the energy of folks that maybe had a little taste of what it was, or had access to high level power, inspiration, passion, gifts, you know what I mean? Like divine given gifts and access that they ultimately squandered because, again, back to that duality, they didn't invest it in their supreme identity purely. There was this fabrication of supremacy by way of material possession, but they used the gifts that they were privy to, or of others, whichever way it goes. But some actually have possessed gifts that they used unrighteously. But either way, however they got their hands on the energy, whether it was first hand, second hand, or so forth, they had it. And that the test of it all, of integrity, was what they did with it. And many did nothing good with it, which is why, as I'm saying, they're going to be thrown out of position, or there'll be such a stress and a strain on whatever the establishment may be that it'll virtually be unbearable. Certainly, again, putting you out of sequence, and like out of frequency to harness this potential and this kinetic part of me energy, supernatural even, in tandem. It's like some people are going to have too much to deal with the mess that they've created for themselves to do anything elevated or ascended or, extra. They'll just be dealing with it's literally back to somebody being stuck in a position like you made your bed, lie in it type of energy. Stuck in a position or in a place that they fought to be in, competed to be a part of, and now that they're there and the tides have turned cosmically, they're finding out that it's like the worst place on earth. Relationships that looked like one thing, looked like a great place to be, now causing hella stress. A job that you've competed, stepped on, a position maybe you stepped on your coworkers to have, backbit and everything to get a certain position or role, and you can't even rest at night. You're so stressed out. You can't even enjoy the home and the luxuries that you fought for this position or this prestige to have for the purpose of. It's just like people were looking in the wrong direction, looking for love in all the wrong places. That's a song by Victor Duplay. I love that song. And love in this sense, to me, is satisfaction, fulfillment with that star energy. They were looking for that to come in all the wrong places, all the wrong people, all the wrong ways, by any means necessary. And they got it, but the joke's on them. Oh, shit. The joke's on them, because you can't outrun judgment. People trying to get away with murder, with theft, with destruction that they've caused, confusion they've incited, lies that they've told, illusions they've created, and the judgment is on that ass. Wherever you go, there you are, and this judgment is right there with you. And again, that's a micro, macro inflection here. From the top down, I would say it's happening. Wow, the Chariot card. It's like a gladiator. Definitely could be something in on a more macro scale. It could be something by way of entertainment. Maybe the CEO of some big media corporation, or an actor, maybe a film producer. Somebody that is highly esteemed, or at least well recognized. It could be something like that. I mean, there's a lot of that going around, but in terms of what I'm picking up here, it could be something like that. Where it's like, damn, you? Not you. But it's something about it also that's going to unveil something underlining, though, like some underworld of sorts, or like it's going to like reveal, or what's the right word, expose some underworkings of a society or establishment or something here. Yeah, it's like, it could even be, we always hear about these like Hollywood rituals and stuff like that. It could be some uncovering of something like that, like where it's, you couldn't, like somebody's house, where you couldn't deny it if you try. Like, it's no longer a fantasy or a figment of mysticism. It's like what may be found in somebody's personal space, or on their person, or that somebody was associated with. Ooh, because I said, like, telling somebody, yeah, show up here and bring this and this and that, could be a setup. And that could be the intention, to just kind of expose someone. That could be something here. Oh, that's weird. Oh, Lord, I'm seeing everything now. Sacrifices with this Ace of Cups, the Ace of Wands. We know that sacrifices are usually for power, or for attacks, or to power up for something, or to manifest some outcome. But where people are thinking that they, like I said, it might be the intention for a setup or an exposure of some sort, but I feel like everybody finna go down. It's like, oh, you thought you was getting away? No, everybody's going to get snatched up. This is the police, the Chariot. Oh my goodness. And the thing about it, it really is like, it really is diminishing the veil, even if it is just one situation. Because like I said, for so long, we've had secondary accounts of people that claim, yeah, I went to this party and I had to do this and that, yeah, whatever. Like, nobody has ever pulled up any hardcore evidence or any footage or any like video footage or like insider type, like something, some receipts, you know, of what really is going on, or evidence that something really mystical and sinister is happening. It's really just tales. But it could be that something of this nature is exposed in a way where it blows the mystery right out the water. Like, oh, so this really is happening, by actually putting a face to the story. Faces, perhaps. And in this case, recognizable, well recognizable faces. Maybe people you wouldn't even expect to be, child. Get out of here, you Matt. Monitoring spirit. And it was all over that King of Pentacles, though. Two for two. One for two. Okay. Well, here it is again with the Queen of Cups and the Seven of Cups. Back to the beginning of somebody wanting there to be like it's like somebody wants to draw the veil, draw a stronger veil. You know, like, how can I say that better? Like, to draw, would it be an opaque veil? The resistance is against the veil dissipating in the first place by way of emotional intelligence, intuition, insight, awareness, self-awareness, all of it. It's like somebody would want to regress time in a way where people don't know what the hell is going on, like how they used to not. But what's this? But that is just not going to be the case. Not only is everybody going to be exposed, they're going to be exposed in their most vulnerable and destitute state. So this, oh man, now I'm feeling like, because with that Star card, it could generally be, again, about the resistance against true celestial beings, not against the fabrication of celebrity culture. You know, that's what really is the threat now, against the ideal of celebrity and of affluence and all that other stuff that we've been conditioned to buy into. If that dissipates, as it already is, but even more so, if there is some like final nail in the coffin for that, then it really will put some of these higher ups in a tough spot, because if there is no illusion to sell anymore, then how will they make their money? If people are independently shining on their own, they're not aspiring to be a part of a selective and elite system, that dictates success. Then what happens to those that have ultimately made their fortune on our own our insecurities? What happens then? They fall apart, as I've said. Okay, so this ritual, so somewhere in, let's see, what can we call this? Somewhere in shadow, no, it's not that. I don't even know what to call it. Let's say secret society, in the secret society sanctum, sinister secret society sanctum. There are collusions already underway as to how the energy of this Capricorn full moon again, and then it's like a gateway from now until even the next full moon, how maybe over this next month or so, those energies can be harnessed to try to delude creation again, or at least evade somehow this great acceleration of supremacy here that's taken place, in some ways out of the control of those who once have had a great deal of control. So somewhere, this is what's some underbelly of the world, the country, the state, I don't even know. It could be any damn where. There is this intention to come together to really harness this power, to reclaim power over creation. That's wow. And perhaps not only is it, as I said in the very beginning, not only is it going to backfire in the way that it was intended to deplete energy, it's actually going to advance. We saw the Ace of Wands. So it's going to advance those that of which are intended to be oppressed and suppressed, and further their evolution. And it's also going to initiate the demise of whatever this establishment it is from the top down as well. There's already dissension, but it's really going to bring the house down to its knees now. Wow. And the veil, triple reaction, right? Because the veil that they're working so hard to reestablish, of which is inflected in me saying it's like, it's just a lot of tales. Nobody really knows, we don't have receipts. We don't have evidence. Now that veil is going to be completely dissolved because of what will be exposed of whatever this is. Now, everybody's eye might not be open to see it. Everybody's eye may not. However, the eyes that need to see it will. They will recognize it for exactly what it is, and that is what the nail in the coffin truly will be, because at this point, those who don't have an eye to see are really not as much of any consequence to the threat of power, the power obsession here. They're going to be shuffled regardless because they're not aware. But those where the power struggle is most aggressive, for those that are awakening, that are aware of their own power, that are aware of their own sovereignty and blah, 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 and are submitted to their supremacy, it's like whatever this exposure may be is going to be all the affirmation people need. And it may happen in a very individual way, like something is revealed in your life that gives you all the confirmation and affirmation you ever needed to be fully embody your spiritual supremacy. But it also may happen on a large scale too. So that's probably why I'm sensing, the big scale, small scale thing, because it might be quite personal, but it might also be quite global or, national or something on that lines too. It's going to blow mystery out of the water and affirm your suspicions to be more than just illusions or delusions. And really, that's the biggest threat to a dying power structure, for you to actually be affirmed of exactly who you are, why you are, and that's like an infusion of power and confidence to not only to keep doing what you're doing, but now to do it even bigger and more boldly, because you have all the evidence to believe that not only has it been impactful, but that it is most impactful. I don't even know if I'm saying that right, but whew, something is happening. Something's happening. Yeah, looky here. Here is the plan. They're planning with the little world in their hands. But the prophecy is already fulfilled, even as I'm speaking now. You're already well on your way. Where with the coordinates that they're planning for, look how small the world is. Some are in a completely different dimension than the intended coordinates of attack in this card here. You long gone from that place, already moving ahead. So that means when this missile is launched, whatever it is, it's not going to hit you. It's probably going to turn around and actually come right back to home base, or implode before it even leaves home base. And because of that, it's going to expose exactly where the attack is coming from. So then that will no longer be a mystery, or a mystery anymore either. And all the while, you're still already well on your way to success in the present and into a brighter future. And it's because, as a matter of fact, of this intended attack or whatever it is, that you're moving on even more accelerate, because it's like spirit almost has to move you faster than probably would have even have been intended naturally, organically. But because of the covenant that's been forged between you and your supreme, it's like, this is like security. This is like your security detail here. As soon as it gets the intel, before it has secret intel. So it gets the intel before there's even an initiation. And so there you are, moving out of the line of attack. None the wiser, because a lot of times we don't even know why we're being moved and how we're being moved, but it's all secure. Like I said in the very beginning, like not to be worried or afraid, because your security detail is always on the job. So here you are, moving out of the line of fire, so much so that and because of, like I said, you may not have been intending to move or progress anywhere from this point, but now you have to because of this intention. So again, if they would have never done it in the first place, you might still be where you intended to be. But now, no. Now they done pushed you forward inadvertently. They have foiled their own territory, dismantled their own foundation, and blown their own cover. That is hilarious. And I know I'm not even saying that the way that I feel it, but if you get it, you get it. Just stay in integrity. If your intuition is telling you, don't go out right now, don't go out right now. If you don't need to necessarily, if you don't feel quite up to going to that party or that gathering or accepting that invitation, going on that date, whatever it is, listen to your emotional intelligence. If you usually would go to this store, but you're feeling like you should probably go to that one, listen to your emotional intelligence. That's your secret security. Your secret security detail, keeping you safe and sound, because you are here on divine assignment, and whatever mission it is that you are assigned to is far more important than any ambition of demise against it. That's a fact. So their secret society against your secret service. We'll see how that works out. All right, I'm done here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Until next time, as always, I leave you with peace.